Welcome back to the 2009 Continental Congress here in St. Charles, Illinois, at Pheasant Run Resort. It's been a lot of fun here, but a lot of stuff is going on. Hey guys, can you mute that? We'll do it live! And so we're having a good time here, but at least I am. When I watch you guys, and I know you're under a lot of stress, and I know there's a lot of tension. Apparently one guy just got so fed up he just ripped the stuff up and threw it on the floor last night. I mean, it can't be easy.
Oh no, it's not easy. You know, people got a lot of stuff on their shoulders. Some people, I think, are getting frustrated with some of their, issues that they're really near and dear to them, and that's good. You know, we should be passionate about things. If it's important, you ought to be passionate about it. And then, almost everybody here came here under just tremendous pressure from the people back at home to bring something back. You know, I mean, we all know in our gut what's going on, and we all see this horrible storm, you know, culminating around us. And people are asking for some direction and for some leadership and for some solutions that they can do, because they've figured out that voting doesn't work. They've figured out that sending letters to your congressman doesn't work. And they're grasping for what's the next option. And you know what that next option really is?
No, but I'm sure you'll tell me.
That next option is just exploring the wonderful power of disobedience. Just massive, massive disobedience. And it's not disobedience to the higher law. It's disobedience to the rebels, our government, that are thumbing their nose at the law. Now, there'd been some discussion about that because some people are really scared. And here's the main thing. People tend to equate government with law. That government and law are synonymous. And that is absolutely false. Absolutely false. Law pre-existed government. It is not because of law that we have freedom. It is because of freedom that we have law. Hang on, that's my... You can tell what generation I'm from when my phone rings there.
Awesome.
Nintendo songs come on.
I think that the arcade around, I think I've been hearing that as I walk by. So.
All right, so people think that government and law are synonymous, and that is not the case. And like I was saying, it is not because of freedom, it is not because of law that we have freedom. It is because of freedom that we have law. We had that freedom in the first place, and that is why individuals got together and created government to protect them. No government has a right to do what an individual does not have a right to do, because all of us collectively cannot muster some sort of different moral code to be held to us as a body. Law is force, pure and simple. And the only time that the use of force is appropriate is in self-defense. Now, we as individuals can get together and delegate that force, that self-defense, that defensive force, to a government for the purpose of protecting our liberties. But it is totally irrational to think that we as individuals can delegate to a government something that we ourselves do not have, which is the right to arbitrarily aggress those that we choose. And that is what our government is doing.
And they're not stopping.
And they're not stopping. And they're backing people into a corner. And nobody wants a fight. People are just peaceful by nature. You know, nobody wants a fight. We would rather put up with it than have a fight. But when you get continually just cornered into this and there's no way out, you kind of get left with one distasteful option.
You can take the nicest dog in the world, and if you just keep being mean and scaring it and pushing it into a corner, it's probably going to bite you.
Yeah, if you tax us under the table, don't be surprised when we bite your balls. That's the truth of it.
I love this guy. The lines and the anecdotes you come up with are just classics. I mean, they really are. They say it all in just one sentence.
Great. Well, then here's one I was thinking about. You know, the guy got up there and he was reading from Samuel, and he was talking about the people were asking for a king, and God said, "No, you don't want a king." He said, You don't want a big government. He said they'll take your sons and appoint them to his chariots. They'll take your daughters and he'll make them bakers. He'll take your vineyards away from you, and you will lose your farms and you'll lose your ass. Right out of the Bible.
Literally.
If you want a big government, you're going to lose your ass. I mean, it's right in there. It just doesn't mince words. Now another thing that I really want to appeal to the delegates here, because we're talking about some pretty heavy stuff here, and time to time throughout history, a generation will be called upon to look at these difficult things in the eyes. But that's our duty, we can't shirk that. But there's been some talk about, well, we need to disable the audio. Well, we talk about, what our plan is going to be or whatever. We don't want to be sending that out to the world. We don't want the government to see that or whatever. Look, the feds are here. I am absolutely confident that there are delegates here that are on the federal clock reporting back, So they know what's going on.
Well, we don't have anybody sweeping for bugs if they really wanted to anyway.
And so to disable the audio, all that's going to do is eliminate the opportunity to inspire the people that would be watching.
Well, we're not. We don't want to disable the audio.
Well, I'm gonna fight hard for you to be able to keep that on.
We're here to broadcast what you guys are doing, and so we surely don't want to have to just have a blank.
Well, I'm gonna lead the charge to make sure that everything that is said here, legal or illegal, doesn't matter. We need to be thinking about right and wrong, not legal or illegal, because those are so far from the same. And we need to broadcast that to a world that needs hope.
Yeah. Why do you think it is? If you look back at history, anywhere you look at the Bible, it's continually repeating the same things over and over again. The people of Israel. You look at our history. You look at man's history throughout the entire globe. We continually do the same dumb things over and over again. We don't learn from our mistakes. Yet, I've never been able to quite understand that.
Why that is?
Why do we not? Those who forget history are doomed to repeat it. We never seem to learn that lesson.
Yeah, there's nobody ever remembered history so far. Yeah, the most important lesson to learn from history is that people don't learn from history. That really is true. And if it doesn't repeat, at least it rhymes.
I mean, you can show them.
You were asking why, though, and I got an answer.
Oh, I thought you were. Okay, go ahead.
No. I was just validating your point. The reason that we don't repeat it is because just the knowledge that you hold doesn't really change your human nature. And I think that our human nature and our propensity towards that is so powerful that it just is rarely overcome by a mental assent to the factuality of the cycle. It has to run its course. Now that may sound like bad news, and if there's people watching this and their heart sank when they heard that, let me try to redeem that, because your heart should not sink when that happens. The cycle that I've identified, and maybe there's variations on this, but just roughly, I think this is the cycle. It starts out with prosperity. It goes from prosperity to apathy, from apathy to tyranny. From tyranny to oppression. From oppression to rebellion. From oppression to destruction. From destruction to repentance. From repentance to courage. And from courage to rebellion. And then from rebellion to prosperity. And then from prosperity to apathy. And so on, the cycle repeats. Now, where we are right now in that cycle is that we have oppression. We're starting into the destruction right now, and then we're going to have the next thing we're in phase 1 of destruction right now, with the number of dollars that our government is creating. Which, by the way, ever since Caesar, inflating the currency is the lethal blow to an empire. So I'm all about that. I think it's great, man. Just rip that Band-Aid off fast. Don't belabor the death.
Well, they're working hard.
We're heading into the destruction. The next thing is going to be repentance, and that is going to be repenting from the values that have defined America for the past 60 years, which is personal peace and affluency. Let me elaborate on those very briefly. Personal peace means that I do not want to be bothered. I don't want anyone to encroach into my zone of comfort. I want to remain undisturbed, and I don't care what that means for my children or my children's children.